Hey folks, it's John Schneider. Happy Independence Day. And this is a great time to celebrate. It was July, the summer of 1775, and the American colonies, remember them, there were 13 of them, they were caught between two worlds. On one hand, they were British subjects, still calling King George His Majesty, still singing God Save the King at gatherings, and still holding on to some faint hope of reconciliation. On the other hand, muskets had already been fired. Blood had been spilled at Lexington and Concord, and a kind of a ragtag army of farmers, shopkeepers, and former soldiers had surrounded the city of Boston, laying siege to the British Army holed up inside. Now, the Second Continental Congress was meeting in Philadelphia. There was a gathering of brilliant, anxious minds trying to decide what course to take. And they were not yet ready to declare independence, not officially, that would come a year later. But in July of 1775, 249 years ago, they knew something had to be done. So they tried both diplomacy and defiance. And on July 5th, they sent what history now calls the Olive Branch Petition, a heartfelt, respectful appeal to King George III, drafted by John Dickinson. It said basically, quote, "We don't want war. We still want to be your loyal subjects, but please treat us justly." And it was just a plea, one final hope that reason might prevail. But almost as if to hedge their bets, on the very next day, July 6th, they issued a second document, the Declaration of Causes and Necessity of Taking Up Arms. Oh, goodness. In this one, they made it clear they would defend themselves. They would not lay down their arms while their rights were trampled. This wasn't rebellion for rebellion's sake. It was about liberty, survival, and dignity. And while these papers were being signed and sealed, a very tall, serious Virginian in a blue uniform was arriving just outside Boston. Oh, who was it? George Washington, now appointed Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army. He took command of the siege forces. He saw before him not a polished army, but a spirited, chaotic group of militias, men with muskets but little training. Still, they had heart, and Washington knew that heart, discipline, and a cause worth fighting for might just be enough. So the British, meanwhile, were not impressed. They dismissed the olive branch, poo-poo, and they didn't even read it, probably. To them, these were just rebels. They were lawbreakers, and they were already trying to, bring the full might of the empire down on Boston and any other city that dared defy the crown. So in that moment, July 1775, 249 years ago, America was still unborn. But it had taken its first baby breath. Oh, it wasn't a nation yet, but it was a people standing together and divided in opinion, for sure. I mean, some said, yeah, let's do it. Some said no. Some didn't care. But they were united by purpose. Their eyes were pretty much open. Their hands were calloused. They were working like a dog. And their hearts were full of both fear and resolve. They didn't know yet what would come, but they knew they could not go back. They couldn't turn around and retreat. This was it. And that's where we were 249 years ago this month, this July. Happy Independence Day, everybody.